All right, so starting a little bit late today. Technical difficulties. We're doing stretch and strength yoga today, and the theme for this week is consciously direct your energy. So we're going to think about it nice and simple today. We're just going to think about remaining on our mat and consciously moving. So sometimes when we move in yoga, we consciously move through some movements, but we treat others transitional movements as just a movement. We kind of fly through it. So my invitation today is for you to move consciously throughout the practice. So even when you're just moving and transitioning, stepping forward to a pose or moving in a way that you might not necessarily think about it, try to make a little promise to yourself that you're going to think about how you place your body on the mat today and see if that makes a difference in your practice. So we're going to start on our backs. Feet on the ground, knees up. Just landing, noticing what is present. Take a little side sway of the hips, a little sway of the head, starting to land on your mat. Notice what is present. So start to notice how you feel. Notice the quality of your mind. Notice if your thoughts are swirling. And then we're going to take an even breath practice. So we're going to breathe in nice and slow. Add a gentle pause. Breathe out nice and slow and add another gentle pause. So if it helps, you can talk yourself through this. Helps you keep focus on your breath. So you would say to yourself, I am breathing in, gentle pause. And I'm very slowly breathing out. Gentle pause. And then let go of all thoughts of your breath. And we're going to take our right foot up to the ceiling. Leaving our left foot down. Just look at your right foot. Take an ankle circle. Move your foot around. Just start to notice your foot, your leg. And then keeping your hips nice and grounded, maybe even keeping your hands here to remind you to keep them grounded. We're going to start to just move the legs. So lowering the heel towards the ground, nice and slow. Inhale as you lower it. Exhale as you draw it back up, nice and slow. Just starting to feel the muscles of the leg, starting to connect with the muscles of the leg. And then bring your leg about halfway down. And we're going to inhale as we draw the knee in towards the chest and exhale as we push the foot away. So really starting to feel the leg in a different way, starting to feel all the way into the hip. And then push the foot away. Hold, and we're going to inhale as we open the foot up to the right, and exhale as we draw back towards the knee. Inhale, open, exhale, draw back to midline. Try to keep the hips nice and grounded, just thinking about the leg. And then cross the right ankle just underneath the left knee and press the right knee away from you with the muscles of the leg. You can hold here. You can peel up the toes of the left foot. You can bring the left knee towards the chest. You can straighten up the left leg. Lots of options. Start to feel your own muscles. If you're going to use the hand to push onto the right thigh, try pushing back with the thigh. So push with the hand, push with the thigh. So you have counter forces. Maybe take some more ankle circles. And then slowly unravel. Right foot back to the ground, knee up. Take your shuffle of the hips. And then notice left and right legs. Notice what feels different. And then ground the hips. Take the left leg up. Feel the left leg. Take some ankle circles. Start to really connect with the muscles of the left leg. And then inhale as you lower the heel towards the ground, nice and slow, moving with your breath, consciously moving. Exhale as you draw the foot up. See if you can restrict the movement by really engaging the muscles of the legs. Remembering the foot down about halfway, draw the knee in with the inhale, press the heel away with the exhale. And then press the heel away, and we're going to inhale, open the leg up to the left. Exhale, draw it back in. This is too intense, you can bend the knee. Try to keep the hips grounded. Try to keep all the movement in the leg. Nice and slow and consciously moving your leg. This is flopping the leg around with momentum. This is conscious movement. I can tell by Kaylee's giggle that perhaps she was not consciously moving. And then bring the left ankle underneath the right knee. Press the knee away from you with the muscles of the leg. Option to lift the toes of the right leg. Option to draw the knee in. Option to straighten the leg. Now these options, when we say options, they're options for exploration. One is not better than the other. They engage and find different muscles, different angles. Notice which one feels better for you. And if you press into the thigh on the left leg, try pressing back with the thigh muscle of the leg. So you have counter pressing. Pressing your hand into the leg, leg into the hand. Counter forces. And then slowly unravel. Take a little side shuffle. Notice how your legs feel. And then we're going to take the right leg back up. And we're going to try and engage as many muscles as we can find in the leg. So find a point where you can hold the leg really, really strong. Maybe if I'm pulling the toes back towards the shin, trying to find some muscles in the foot, we're going to take little teeny tiny circles as if you're pointing with the ball of your foot and making the smallest circle you can. Teeny, teeny, teeny tiny circle. We'll reverse the circles. Notice if you have any other muscles coming to the game. Try to keep this all in the leg. Soften the face, soften the neck. And then bring the leg about halfway between the ground and the ceiling. And take your little tiny circles here. Watch for compensation patterns, other muscles. Try to keep it in the legs. Soften your face. Reverse your circles. And then leg out to the right. So out to the right. Where you can hold it comfortably. You're not straining. Try to keep your hips grounded. Maybe even having your hands on your hips to keep your hips grounded. Little tiny circles. And then reverse your circles. Try to keep the legs super engaged. Find more muscles. Breathe. And then bring the right foot back down to the ground. Take a little side sway. Holy moly, that was loud. Are you sure you still have a hip? It sounded like it exploded. Left leg up. Find the muscles in the leg. Some nice tight muscles. Find the muscles in the foot. Teeny tiny circles, as small as you can make them. Notice if you're really gripping with the right leg. Try to keep it all in the left and try to keep the hips grounded. And then reverse your circles. Really trying to consciously be in the muscles of the left leg. Lower the leg about halfway between the ground and the ceiling. And notice if your back is doing all the work here, lift your leg a little higher. Don't go so low. Breathe. Soften your face. Reverse your circle. And then take the leg out to the left. Hold it in a place where you're comfortable and strong, not too far. And then little tiny circles. Again, try to keep the hips grounded. Reverse your circle. Listen for Kaylee's hip exploding. And then bring the left foot down. Take a side sway with the knees and the hips. Reset. Notice what is present. And we're going to move and breathe with bridge, rolling bridge. So feet down about hip width. We're going to leave our shoulders and our rib cage on the ground and just lift the hips. So inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Consciously trying to fire up all the muscles of the backs of the legs. And then the muscles of the stomach as well. So we're squeezing the glutes and the legs, lifting, as well as pulling our hips up with the muscles of the stomach. See how many muscles you can find. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Watch for tension in the neck, soften the face. Lower the hips, bring the knees in, give yourself a little hug. And then roll on over to a side and come on up to a tabletop position. Move and breathe in your tabletop. Inhale forward, exhale back towards child's. So start to have your own movement here. Experiencing what is present in your own body. Inhale forward, exhale back. And then come on forward to tabletop position. We're going to take the right leg out, even with the hip. We're going to engage the right leg as much as we can. We're going to be conscious about our upper body and our back. So, this is sinking into the shoulders. Lift up, pull up, engage the chest and shoulders. And then we're going to take our little teeny tiny circles here. So really consciously, carefully moving the right leg. Watching for buckling and movement in the back. Try to stay engaged and still through the back. Keep your base strong. Reverse your circle. And then slowly take the foot out to the right. And little tiny circles here, trying to keep your base nice and steady. Trying to keep the leg really strong. And then reverse the circles. Imagine you're sending as much energy as you can out through the ball of the right foot. Consciously breathe. And then we're going to hold the foot steady. Draw the knee towards the right shoulder. And then push the heel away. Inhale as you draw the knee in. Exhale as you push the heel away. Watch for buckling in the shoulders. Try to remain strong. And then lower the toes, press through the heel, and either hold it static, take your socks off, or little soft pulses. I forgot to take my socks off. I was like, wow, this foot slipped.
Crazy piece off. You're supposed to be
opening up the back of your leg. And then lower, right leg, left leg, up even with the spine. So set up your base first.
Where's my child's pose?
We just started. Hold, engage. Little tiny circles. Consciously moving your leg. See how small you make your circles and how engaged your leg is. Challenge yourself. Reverse your circles. Breathe. And then bring the heel slowly over towards the left. Little tiny circles. Little tiny circles. You can do it. Squeeze your muscles tight, tight, tight. Reverse the direction. Consciously directing energy through the leg. And then inhale, draw the knee in towards the shoulder. Exhale, push the heel away. Fire hydrant, moving fire hydrant. Muscles remain engaged the whole way. Strong leg. Move with the breath. And then lower the toes. Press through the heel, static or pulses. And then lower the left knee and find your way to down dog. So warming up your down dog in whichever way feels right for you. You can sway the hips side to side, bend the legs, pedal out the feet. Whatever feels right for your body today.
It's time for crocodile. And then Shavasana. You really did just start well.
And if you're just joining us and never gotten to know Kaylee, she likes sloth yoga. She likes to be nice and slow and on the ground. So we're going to consciously direct our energy through down dog. We're going to move and breathe. So if you are feeling slothy, or if you're feeling tired or any other thing, if you're a little bit challenged, you're going to go back to tabletop child's. If you would like to pump it up a little, we're going to pull forward. So imagine you're going to pull forward from your tailbone into plank. Inhale forward. And then pull from the tailbone, exhale back. Consciously moving, inhale forward. And exhale back. Now try to find as many muscles as you possibly can to engage. See if you can engage the chest a little stronger. See if you can engage all the muscles of the stomach. And then find the stillness of down dog. Turn your world upside down. Nice steady breath. Bend the knees, look towards the hands, and either float or step forward. Feet underneath hips, forward fold. Let your head hang with the tension of your neck. Maybe sway a little. Bend the knees. Inhale deeply. Rise up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. And we're going to move and breathe like this. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, prayer to heart. Staying simple, or if you'd like to make it a little more whole body. We're going to inhale, arms up overhead, come to the balls of our feet with knees softly bent. Slowly lower the hips with our exhale. Consciously moving our body here. So not pushing the hips too far forward, not locking the knees. Really moving slowly, carefully, engaged, and balanced through this. And if you want to challenge yourself even more, you're not going to lower the heels. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower the hips with heels lifted. Consciously moving, consciously remaining on your mat, not in yesterday or tomorrow, not in the to-do list, right here, right now, in this physical body. Try not to fall. Wherever you're at, lower to a baby chair, maybe with your heels lifted. And then check in. So soften the low back, lengthen the spine, soften the shoulders. Engage your legs. And if the heels are lifted and you want a little more challenge, you're going to peel the knees open and peel the knees back. Really strong, engaged in the legs, nice and slow. If your heels are lifted, lower the heels. We're going to go into twisted chair, moving and breathing. So arms can come out open or they can remain in. We're going to inhale, center. Exhale, take left shoulder towards left knee. Inhale, center, right shoulder towards right knee. So we're really moving in the rib cage, in between the rib cage and the hip space. We're trying to keep our base steady. Try not to move the legs. Consciously engage the legs and hips. So if you imagine you're pressing your down through the feet, you're pulling the legs apart and pulling them back in, so all of the leg is engaged. Imagine you're trying to pull your feet apart. That will help you find the inner thigh. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Hands of prayer. We're going to bring the weight onto the right leg, trying not to move too much. Peel up the heel of the left. Maybe even peel the knee in. Hold. Slowly send the heel towards the glute. Hold. Challenge and be conscious. You may know where we're going, but we're going to go slowly and mindfully. Slowly send that heel. Send the left heel back behind you. Land it in. High lunge. Hold. Breathe. Find your base. We're going to try and come back to where we were as mindfully as we went there. So weight on to the front leg. Slowly as you can. Peel the left heel towards the glutes. Slow, slow, slow. Slowly peel the left knee towards chest. And then lower left foot back where we started. Inhale, arms up overhead, lengthen. Exhale, prayer to heart. Take a reset. So maybe shimmy the hips, shimmy the feet, wiggle the toes. Find your center. And then lower down into your baby chair. Find your base nice and solid first. Legs are super strong, so try and find that inner thigh engagement. You're pulling the feet apart as well as pulling the knees together. Hold, soft low back, soft shoulders, soft face. Try and bring the weight onto the left leg without moving too much. Peel up the right heel. Bring the knee in towards the chest as slow as you can. Try to make this movement slow, mindful, conscious. Slowly send the right heel towards the glute. Torso comes a little bit further forward, slow as you can. And then slowly extending right leg. And lowering the toes. High lunge. Breathe. Find your center. Find your balance. And then back the way we came, as slow as we can, being mindful. Forward onto the right leg. Peeling up. Forward onto the left leg. Peeling up. Right heel, slow as you can, towards the glute. Breathe. Slowly draw right knee towards the chest. Torso back up. Right heel down. And then inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Reset. We're going to go mindfully into a balanced sequence. So we're going to turn so you can see us. Feet underneath hips. So one of the things that people often don't know is where our hips are. So feet underneath hips, find your hip bones and see if they're in the middle of your feet. Give yourself a little bit better balance. So often people bring their feet a little too close or a little bit too wide. So feet underneath hips. Try and find your hips, hold your hips steady. Watch for compensating by pushing the hips out. So nice and steady, a little bend in the knees. A lot of engagement in the legs. We're going to bring the right leg up. Peel up the heel. Hold here. So hold in a place where your hips are even. We haven't thrown them left or right. And we're not pulling up in any unusual angle. So if you pull the knee too high and you have to throw out a hip, bring the knee down. Find even hips. And it helps to hold your hands on your hips because often we don't know where they are unless we're holding them. Hold the leg here. We're going to pull left, right heel to the left. So pull in and then pull back. Pull in and pull back. Trying not to move anything else, just lower leg. Challenge your balance. And then we're going to pull right heel over left knee. So either hold here, or if you would like to challenge, you're going to sit it down into one-legged chair. So nice and slow, slow and mindful. Engage first. Strong in the core. Engage from the tailbone all the way up through the spine. Right leg remains engaged. It's so hard to talk through this. Right leg remains engaged. As much as possible. Imagine you're pulling the right knee down towards the ground. Breathe. You can stay here, or if you would like a further challenge and want to move on towards an arm balance, you're going to forward fold. Slow, slow, slow. Hands come to the ground. Your right foot can hook on your left tricep if you're going to try for the arm balance. So right foot, left tricep, hook, Right knee just above the right tricep. Hook. And then pull tight in the chest. So your balance comes from your chest and your core. Pull your chest up. And then maybe pull the left toes up. Breathe. Balance. Slowly and mindfully come back out. Wherever you are at.
Oh, I really smell like.
Slowly unravel. Right knee back to center. And mindfully place it down. Tap out the legs. And take it left to right. Swing, release, reset. Notice left and right sides. And then set up for the other side. So again, find your feet under your hips, legs strong and engaged, little bend in the knees. And then bring the left leg forward. Finding that point where you can bring the left knee forward, hold it steady and strong. Breathe. And then peel left heel in and out. In and out. Move with your breath. Be conscious with your movement. And then pull left heel in and place left heel above right knee. Hold here. Maybe this is your challenge. You can also challenge yourself by lifting your branches and hanging out here. If you're ready to try and sit down for one-legged chair, three-legged dog, one-legged chair. And as I talk like a crazy person, see if you can still balance. Lower your hips. Engage left leg. Engage left leg. Engage right leg. Strong. Both legs engaged. Strong.
I'm just going to tune you out.
Strong from the tailbone up. Hold and balance. Lower the hips. Lower, 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 lower. Challenge yourself. And then maybe forward fold. And if you're not quite at this forward fold stage, maybe having the blocks here and just practicing holding up higher. Catch your left foot on your right tricep. Hook it so it's strong. Your left knee on your left tricep, so above the elbow. Find your little ridge, your shelf, and come forward first. Then pull through the chest. So your balance comes from pulling up from the ground. Breathe. Pull the right leg up.
I had it for a second before I got too cocky.
And then mindfully, consciously, go back the way you came. Slow, 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 slow. Can you be as conscious when you know where you're going? Slow. Bring it up. Not today. And then tap it out. Tap out the legs. Take it side to side. And then back to connecting with our breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, heart to heart. Hold your prayer heart. Find your center. On this time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan, dive it down. Touch the ground. Step back. High plank challenge or meet me in crocodile pose. So lower all the way down to your belly or hold a high plank for a moment. We're going to do a high plank challenge. So, nice and strong in your high plank first. Lift up. Watch for buckling in the shoulders. Really pulling yourself up out of the ground. We're going to do opposite hand and leg. So, left arm, right leg. Lower, right arm, left leg. So, lower. Switching back and forth. Challenging, lifting, getting strong. And then lift left arm, right leg. Send it back to a down dog shape. Balance. Hold here. If you're still not falling, take those little circles with the right leg. See if you can still balance. And then bring it back. Plank pose. Other side. Right arm, left leg. Back to a down dog shape. Hover. Little circles. If you want to be super crazy, you can take your circles with your arm too. Consciously directing energy slowly back. Plank pose. And lower it down. Crocodile pose. So all the way down to your stomach. Forehead down, one hand on top of the other, forehead down. Shimmy the hips. What can you let go of? And then from here, we're going to move and breathe, strengthening the back. So fire up the muscles of the legs first. Press the tops of the feet into the ground. Squeeze the glutes. Find some muscles in your back. We're going to inhale, lift the shoulders. Exhale, lower. Maybe even lifting the feet. But thinking about lifting and then getting longer. So making more room for your spine. Trying to use all the muscles of the back. And then bring it up to a hover, wherever you can hold steady and strong. Bend the right knee, bring the right heel towards the glutes. If you can, reach for the right heel. So lengthen by pressing the foot into the heel into the foot. Left hand can stay down in balance. Left leg can remain lifted or remain on the ground. Lengthen, press the hand into the foot into the hand. Breathe. Slowly and consciously release the foot if you have it. No slingshots. Let it come back down to the ground. Reset. Lift and hover. Left heel comes towards the glute. Maybe you can catch the heel. If you catch it, press the foot into the hand into the foot. Lift and lengthen. Breathe. And then slowly release the foot if you have it. Back to crocodile. This time really shimmy. What else can you let go of? Soften, loosen. Reset. Release into the ground. And then a little bit of freedom movement. So thinking about moving in a way that releases holding patterns. Bring your hands out wide and lift our shoulders. As we exhale, we're going to turn and look at a foot and lower the opposite shoulder towards the ground. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn to the other side. Lower the shoulder. So start to make this movement about your own shoulders and upper back. So we're not holding lots of muscle strength. We're just trying to move and feel and experience. You may prefer to keep the shoulders up and turn and look. So play. Move around. Make circular movements. Make movements with your shoulders that feel like the right movements for you right now. Allow your head to move in a way that is not increasing tension in your neck. Thinking about reducing holding patterns, reducing stress, moving consciously, feeling what is present in our upper back and shoulders. And then bring it back to center. Slowly bring it to child's pose. Come back to child's pose. Slowly come on up to a seated position. If you have blocks, keep your blocks handy. You may want to have your blocks just behind you. I'm going to go into some reverse tabletop things for the back triceps. Back of your arms. We started late. Nice job. So you're going to begin by bringing your hands comfortably behind you. Everybody's wrist shape and holding patterns and strains in the wrist is different. So you want to place your hands behind you in whatever shape, way is comfortable for your own wrists. Only you know your wrists. Find a way that you can place your hands behind you. Draw your elbows behind you with your muscles. Draw your spine long. And start to take some weight into your arms. So lower your elbows, bend your arms. Lower, take some weight. And then little tiny pulses here. And you maybe stay here if this is where you're at. Or wiggle your feet away from you a little bit more and lift the hips. So little reverse tabletop push-ups. Watch for dropping your head. Just keep your chin down. We're not working on the neck. And if you want to go even further, you're going to go for reverse plank. So trying to keep your heels down, legs long, arms engaged. Little pulses. Lower the hips. Come on up. Stretch the arms behind you. So fingertips stretch behind you as if you're pulling your fingertips away from you. Lengthen the spine. Options to try all of the things we just tried. Maybe you're just doing reverse tabletop. Maybe you're doing all the way to reverse plank. Maybe you want to try with the blocks. So coming up a little bit higher, challenging yourself a little bit more. Hold, engaged, little pulses. Or all the way into reverse plank. And hold, breathe. Little pulses or hold, yogi's choice. And then little hip dips if you're doing the plank. So squeeze your core, everything else tight. Left and right with the hips. I can hear Kaylee cursing under her breath. Lower the hips.
Laughing because I still can't really work.
Shake out the arms. So flick glitter. Shake the arms. Loosen and soften the arms. And then you're going to bring right arm across the body. So right arm across, catch it with the left, and then counter forces. So we press the arm into the both, right arm into the left, left arm into the right. So push and pull. And then imagine you're pulling your shoulder backwards away from you. So start to engage. See if you can find some muscles on the top of the shoulder. And watch for any weird tension you're pulling anywhere else in the spine, in the neck. Just be mindful, conscious of your body. Let go of the right arm. We're going to bring it up towards the ceiling. Drop the hand behind us. Maybe you can reach it all the way back. Maybe you can't. Pull the elbow up. So really push the elbow up, up, up to the ceiling while keeping both hips grounded. So push, push, push. Maybe you can pat yourself down the back. So keeping this engagement, spread the hand wide, and we're going to slowly pull the hand up and then back. Up and then back. So try to keep everything else still. And starting to move through the shoulder. We're looking for mobility in the shoulder. So we're starting to open up the arm to the side. My hair's in the way. So starting to really think about mobility. Strengthen the shoulder. Maybe bring it all the way down now. Slow, mindful, engaged movement of the arm. Now flip the palm, bring it behind you. So flip it halfway and bring it down. Really thinking about all the ways our shoulder can move. Nice, slow, mindful, engaged. Bring the right arm down, fingertips to the ground. So touching the ground and then pull, 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 pull all the way up to the other side. So see if you can feel stretching across the top of the shoulder all the way up into the right side of the neck. Breathe. And then head back to neutral. Loosen the shoulder. Notice left and right sides. Bring the left arm up to the ceiling. Bend the elbow. Take the hand behind the shoulder. So not pushing on the neck here. We're not anywhere near the neck. We're coming back behind, resting on the shoulder if we can touch anything. Press the elbow up towards the ceiling. Really press with the muscles the elbow towards the ceiling. Watch for anything unusual you're doing within the hips or the low back, or any twists or pulls or anything. Engage. Slowly pull the hand up to the ceiling and then back. Mindfully moving. Mindfully moving. Consciously moving this arm. And then start to make the movement a little bigger. Bringing the arm all the way down to shoulder height. And slowly back. Nice and slow. See if it's harder to be conscious about this movement. Because we already did one side. So our brain kind of knows where we're going. Is it harder to remain conscious and mindful? Notice. Start to make it a little bigger. Bringing the arm all the way down towards the ground. And all the way back.
My elbow is really creaky.
Strong arm. Slow movement, then start to flip the palm and tuck the hand behind you. Flip the palm halfway, tuck the hand behind you. Flip and tuck, nice and slow and mindful. So when we tuck, we're still pushing the hand away from us. We're still trying to activate as many muscles as we can find.
My arm is getting really tired.
So, which was harder? All of those tricep push-ups we did,
This.
or this slow mindful movement? Consciously directing our energy is actually often way more tiresome. So then bring it down. Fingertips Left fingertips touch the ground. So touch the ground as if you're consciously sending energy down through the ground. And then pull up, pull up, pull up until you feel the top of the left shoulder. And then send the chin and ear over to the right. See if you can feel more muscles along the neck, across the top of the shoulder. Maybe wiggle your fingers a little bit further. Maybe think about consciously sending the crown of your head longer. So think about your spine getting long and your crown of your head growing, moving further away from the fingertips. Breathe. Head back to neutral, loosen the left arm. Take a little wiggle and notice what is present. So notice the arms and shoulders. Notice how the neck feels. And then before we finish down onto our backs, we're going to return to the breath from the start of practice, but we're going to do it seated. So if you are not 100% comfortable in a easy seat position, find a way to make this more comfortable. Maybe you place a block in underneath the hips. Find a way to be comfortably seated. Maybe you just find a chair. We're going to think about our breath. And we're going to start to bring in, nice and slow. You can even bring your hands to your torso. I am breathing in, gentle pause. I am very slowly breathing out, gentle pause. And then knowing that our breath is the energy for our body. So we bring in fresh oxygen into our body and then it's sent to our muscles and throughout our body. Imagine we could consciously draw in this fresh. So we're going to imagine the fresh breath is going to be drawn through the crown of our head, down our nice long spine. We're going to add a gentle pause. And then from this gentle pause, we're going to sweep away anything that's no longer needed. Up our spine, out through the crown of our head, and we're going to experience a little pause, thinking about being consciously released of a little of what we no longer need. So the same breath practice, and imagining we're drawing in energy through our spine. So breathing in, gentle pause, nice slow breath out, really releasing what is no longer needed, and another gentle pause. Complete a full breath and then make a decision about where you would like to be for your resting pose. And slowly, mindfully, make your way to that position. So find the pose that is going to be a resting pose for you today. Maybe you always take a certain pose because that is what feels like a ritual and it feels protective and wonderful. And maybe you might want to think, maybe you want to try something different. Open your mind to the possibility that your body might need something else. Find the position that works for you today. And as you start to release into the ground, thinking about that conscious energy pattern that we just thought about, thinking about fresh energy moving throughout our spine. Think about this important part of our body system being fully recharged. And then think about releasing muscles into the ground, starting with the feet. Release the muscles at the toes. Release the muscles around the ankles. Release the muscles around the knees. Around the hips. Try to release and soften all the muscles around the torso, around breathing, around your digestion, around the hips, the low back. Muscles across the chest and shoulders, soften and allow the shoulder blades to really land on the ground. See if you can soften the muscles of the neck a little more. Muscles at the base of the skull. Muscles of the face. Around the eyes. Soften the cheeks. Soften the lips. Soften your tongue and your mouth. Can you imagine more softness inside the nose, making more space for your breath to come in? Can you imagine more softness down your throat? And then can you let go of control of even your breath? Allowing your breath to roll in and roll out in its own natural pattern. And this release is releasing into the natural wisdom of your own physical body. Knowing that your body knows what it needs. That without your control, you're not going to stop breathing. Your body will take the breath it needs. You can soften. You can release into the ground. You can take a break. Consciously releasing and surrendering into this moment. Letting go. Noticing your own thoughts. And then noticing that you can notice your thoughts. And understanding that if you can notice your thoughts, then you are something a little more than just those thoughts. if you have the time to take in this resting, please take as much time as your body needs. If you need to finish up at the 60-minute mark, we are coming right up on that 60-minute mark. So begin to bring awareness back to your physical body with gentle movements of the fingers and the toes. And slowly make your way over to a fetal position on whatever side is calling to you. Curling up in a little ball. And taking a moment to connect within to that something more. The layer beneath the thoughts, the layer beneath the physical, the layer beneath the emotions, the energy, the most internal layer, your inner wisdom, your bliss, your spirit, your soul, whatever helps you connect to this inner layer underneath all the noise. And slowly make your way back to a seated position, bringing your hands to prayer at heart space. Taking a moment to bow and nod to that inner wisdom within you. And then connecting to the inner wisdom within you. Imagine sending it out to connect with others in your world. You can think of someone in particular you would like to send compassion and kindness to, or you can think of just sending it out in general. You can give it a color, you can give it a visual, and imagine connecting from your own heart center and sending out compassion and kindness. May all beings everywhere be peaceful and at ease. Thank you so much for joining us.